What's up, peeps?
Hey.
It's Wednesday, July the 16th, 2025. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's time to record the latest, the greatest episode of your favorite politically incorrect sports commentary podcast. It is time for Sports Frenzy 2.0.
That, of course, are the dulcet tones of the maestro, Kevin Crane.
And then, of course, that is the wonderful baritone of your favorite uncle, your Uncle Dave, the conquistador, Dave Height. Now, interesting that most people bitch and piss and moan that this is one of the 2 or 3 slowest weeks in sports. I'll tell you what, we got a lot to talk about.
There's a lot of weird shit.
A lot of stuff. Now, of course, the reason why people usually refer to this as a slow week is because it's the All-Star break for baseball. Everybody, oh my God, the All-Star game was so wonderful. Oh my! Every year we put up with this shit where these people that are in the pockets of Major League Baseball, these sports reporters, these media members,
hype
every
the
year,
shit out of it.
Oh my God, shut up already.
Guess
will
what?
Ya?
I didn't watch the fucking game. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's pointless. I caught highlights.
Well, you know what? I might have boosted... Oh, never mind. I didn't watch it either. I did the same thing. I watched Kyle Schwarber yank 3 home runs, and that was about it. Yeah, they're going, oh, my God, what a wonderful event. And for the pictures I saw, again, didn't watch it, the pictures I saw of the Hank Aaron tribute looked phenomenal.
I will give them the Hank Aaron tribute. Thank God they did something cool like that.
Yes. Yeah, and I again, the pictures I saw, it looked tremendous. But everybody, oh my God, the home run derby was great. I'm so
home
tired.
run derbies suck. They're lame. They're...
I'm finally hearing some people come around to that point of view, where they're saying,
enough's enough.
We thought we fixed it when we got rid of Chris Berman, because we didn't have to hear back every 3 seconds. But no, it's not a great event to view.
No, it's horribly boring.
Now...
And you don't get the guys in there who need to be in there.
Well, and of
they
course
don't want to fuck their swings up.
We can go back to Bobby Abreu, remember, when he was in it? And he was never the same again because they said he screwed up his swing at the home run derby. So I think that's why a lot of the big-time sluggers, the big-time home run hitters, stay away from it.
Yeah, but why mess with your swing?
So now I will say this. I'm glad Cal Raleigh won because he's just continuing to build on this unbelievable year that he's putting together. And it's a shame that Seattle's not better.
Oh, I know.
They're on the fringe. They're on the borderline of making the playoffs. But if he was with the New York Yankees...
Oh, my God, we'd never hear the end of anything.
Because they're already given the MVP to Aaron Judge. Why?
No.
They're not in first place either. They're both in second place in their respective divisions in the American League. What's making Judge's year so much better than Raleigh's year? Raleigh's got more RBI. Raleigh's got more home runs. What, because Judge has got a higher batting average?
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out in the next couple months. Because as we talked about last week, we're going to start next week. We're taking a week off.
I actually have.
Did you go ahead and look?
I did.
Okay.
At the break.
Well, we're staying away from the Rockies until next week and Aaron Judge, so...
Yep, no, our 300 hitters at the break, we've got 7, and I only made note of 2.
Ha! 7.
Judge at 355, and was it Alejandro Kirk at 303 is number 7.
Yeah, the catcher for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and then you got a few guys sitting there at 297.
And I did notice, by the way, when we reported on this last week, we did not make a mistake. There were no National League hitters above 300 when we recorded last week.
That's right.
Now, if you look, Will Smith, the catcher for the Dodgers, is hitting like 330. What's going on here? He's on the borderline. He's fluctuating back and forth between actually being eligible.
Right. He's got so few at-bats that...
Yeah, he just became eligible again right before the All-Star break.
Yeah, you have to have a minimum number of at-bats to qualify for this stuff. Yeah. And now he's floating in and out of being eligible.
Right. Yeah, and all the great ESPN will tell you on their baseball stats is that you need 3.1 at-bats per game, which is not completely accurate because you still need to play a minimum number of games and have a minimum number of at-bats to qualify as well. And that's why Will Smith has popped back in now where he was not eligible a week ago.
And give it a week when we come, give it another week and a half, and he won't be in.
But it's still sad, even with him jumping back in, you're still at 7.
Yeah.
Still at 7.
Pretty pathetic.
Just awful. Awful. Awful, awful.
It's terrible.
Terrible. All right, so yeah, the All-Star game. Well, first, again, congrats to Cal Rowley for winning the Home Run Derby.
Yep.
Continuing to build on this great year, the Big Dumper becomes the first catcher ever to win.
I don't want to know how he got that nickname.
He's got a huge ass. That's what I heard.
Oh, I thought he took huge dumps and broke multiple toilets at home.
Close, but no, it's because of the size of his ass.
Well, there you go.
Which probably explains why he's a good catcher.
Yeah.
But he is technically the first catcher to ever win the Home Run Derby. So congratulations to him. And I do want to kind of sort of apologize to him, as I was bagging on him a couple weeks ago and touting Johnny Bench because he broke Johnny Bench's record for most home runs by a catcher before the break. Johnny Bench actually did not play catcher in every game like I implied. I don't know if he was playing some first base or some of his home runs came when he was pinch hitting, but I heard somebody the other day break it down and they said, yes, Cal Rowley is playing less games actually behind the plate, but Johnny Bench, his home runs did not all come while he was playing catcher. So I will apologize to Cal Rowley for that, but still, Bench played a lot more games behind the plate than he has. Then we get to the game. And of course, Major League Baseball finds a way to fuck things up.
They always do.
Because we have the National League jumping out to a 6-0 lead. You're thinking, okay, we're going to get a blowout here. The National League's finally going to get a rare win because they haven't won that much lately. And then they somehow find a way to blow a 6-run lead. And so that gets us to, at the end of 9 innings, a 6-6 tie. Which means for the first time ever, we go to
the swing off. Now, isn't that something that happens in an adults-only club?
What I heard, the running joke I heard this morning, and it turned into like an hour-long phone-in session on Boomer and Geo, was they said, it sounds like something that would happen in Florida down in the villages. So then they started talking about the STD rate at the villages. And then they started talking about the different colored loofahs you put on your golf clubs.
Your golf clubs to determine if...
Yeah, just to show, because like there's 6 different colors or 7 that tell if you're a full swinger or you just like to watch. Just like, now, yes, this is the slowest sports day ever. Wow. We're devolving into this. But yes, the National League won the swing-off, technically the tiebreaker. And it's all due to one former Cub by the name of Kyle Schwarber. 3 majestic swings, 3 dominant, tremendous home runs, and that got him the MVP.
I know. How sad is that?
Technically,
he was...
never got a hit.
No.
Did not get a hit. He was 0 for 2 during the game. So he won the MVP, technically going 0 for 2.
God.
And again, everybody's praising this. Oh, this is brilliant. This is...
No, it's not. It's a fucking gimmick.
Look a little deeper.
I swear to God, if they pull this bullshit, after 10 innings in the regular season, if we're still tied after 10, we're going to go to the swing-off to save arms.
No, they did say that. That will never happen.
Oh, my God. Never say happen. Never with the fucktard you have in charge in Manfred.
True. So thank God that's all over and done with. And now it's like Superman. We had Superman this past weekend where everybody's freaking out, love it or hate it. And then you had the All-Star game where we go, oh, it's wonderful, it's so wonderful, oh my God. Overreaction week
continues. Again, everything is always the greatest, always the best, always the highest rated.
Yeah.
When can we accept that some things are just mediocre crap?
There you go. So, as we prepare for the second half, our teams, the Chicago Cubs, very proud of my Cubbies, very, very proud, as they bounce back from getting destroyed Friday night by the Yankees. And Cody Bellinger hit 3 home runs, and it was looking like doom and gloom for the weekend. And then they came back with the dynamic duo of Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga. Shut down the Yankees and won the final 2 games over the weekend. So they are now 57-39. But those goddamn motherfucking pesky Brewers will not go away. They've won 7 in a row.
56-40, 1 game back.
And they've won 7 in a row.
Including sweeping the Dodgers.
Yes. How can you keep up with that? Jesus God. God, Pat Murphy's a good manager. God.
Yep. That's a well-run organization.
Yep. And they will, either way it plays out. Now, I do hope the Cubs win the division, but I think both will make the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
But God damn it, could we just, 1 year, could we get it easy? Just to win, and then we get to the playoffs, and yes, things will fall apart, as they always do. But come on. Good Lord. 57-39 isn't good enough for a nice 5 or 6 game cushion?
Nope.
And then thank God, making us look a little bit smarter, thank God for the Red Sox. Now the Cubs have to play the Red Sox this weekend. Hottest team in baseball.
Good Lord.
Red Sox have won 10 in a row. They're back in the playoff picture in the American League. And the reason why I am happy for that is because your Uncle Dave and your Uncle Kev both picked the Red Sox to get to the World Series in the American League.
Yes, we did.
So now we're looking a little bit smarter.
Little bit better. But and then you've got my lowly White Sox sitting at 32-65, 27 games back. Still better than last year.
And then we had, did we talk last week about Mark Burley's statue?
We did not.
And then we also have to talk about the honor paid to one Paulie Canerco.
Yep, Paulie got the Pope autographed jersey. So there was a special jersey that said Canerco, Pope Leo, with the number 14 on the bottom, and Pope Leo signed it. So, of course, Paulie sent one back to Pope Leo with his autograph on it. So there you go. And I guess there's footage of Pope Leo and the Pope Mobile going somewhere, and all the kids on the street are chanting White Sox as he goes by, and he's trying to remain stoic, but he couldn't help himself and gave a little fist pump, acknowledging him. So have some fun for the love of all.
And then, of course, a proper tribute to the great Mark Burley.
Yes.
If they won't put him in the goddamn Hall of Fame.
But he gets a statue at Comiskey.
So
Rate, whatever the hell you're calling it. It's Comiskey.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
well deserved.
That's one of those parks. It's always going to be Comiskey.
Yeah, so, no, come on. It's always 200 plus innings. Decent ERA.
And the problem with Burley is time's going to run out on him.
I know, unfortunately.
Now he could get in through the Veterans Committee, or whatever they call that now.
Yeah. But perfect game.
Because his numbers are in about 5 years are going to look stellar compared
to
once Kershaw and Verlander and Scherzer get in.
Yeah.
Burley's numbers are going to look the best of anybody's, including
so why are we even waiting? When because you see where the writing on the wall is. I mean, he's got a World Series win, a World Series save. One of the four guys to pitch a complete game in the playoffs.
I will throw your words right back at you. Look who's running the goddamn
a bunch of fucking morons. Elitist assholes.
Now we'll stick with the White Sox in some semblance here as we real quick look at the Major League Baseball draft. No, we're not going to go into depth on this, but number 1 overall pick was a 17-year-old Oklahoma high school shortstop named Eli Willits. Number 10.
Now, doesn't that almost scream wasted pick? Because you got to wait so damn long before you can get him in the system.
I would say so, yes. I would say so. But that's, you and I happen to think logically and sanely about these things. So, again, we should be running everything. But, of course, at number 10, your Chicago White Sox took a California high school shortstop.
Yeah, exactly.
By the name of Billy Carlson.
Again, you have to wait.
And at number 17, my Chicago Cubs took somebody from college, so we won't have to wait that long. Right fielder Ethan Conrad from Wake Forest. A couple other things in baseball before we move on. Terry Francona, congratulations. Always liked him as a manager. Managed for a time here locally.
Yes.
Where we record every week. He got his 2000th win as a manager this past weekend. Thank God, because we had the Reds, you and I.
Yes.
They made it a very interesting week for us, but
at least was a brutal week.
Yeah, they got us 4, which was better than everybody else, or at least equal.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, Terry Francona becomes the 13th manager in Major League Baseball history to reach the 2,000 win mark.
Good for him.
For the first time ever. Now, home runs are not up, okay? But somehow, for the first time ever, and again, this has a lot to do with the fact the All-Star break was much later than usual.
Yeah, a couple weeks later.
First time ever, 5 players across Major League Baseball with at least 30 home runs at the All-Star break. And then finally, this is a story I just love to follow because I love the business of sports because I'm a geek. And I always hope and pray, like the NFL, we get a solid league out of Major League Baseball, and the same thing with the NBA. But both of those leagues have
Pandora's box is
so many problems,
blown up.
So many problems they've got to fix. But at least with the NFL, you technically have 32 viable franchises. Now, they spend money stupidly sometimes, like the Browns and the Panthers, but they're viable.
Right.
That's not the case in Major League Baseball. But at least maybe there is hope down in Tampa Bay. As now the Rays are going to sell to a group led by Patrick Zalupski, who is a real estate developer out of Jacksonville. $1.7 billion. The sale should close right around the end of the season. And then hopefully over the offseason we'll get some kind of resolution in terms of getting them a new stadium in Tampa. Not in St. Petersburg, in Tampa.
Or are they going to move to the home of the real estate guy, the Jacksonville area?
I don't think so. I think it's a good sign that his group bought the Rays. I think they will keep the Rays in Tampa, but I've got to believe they're going to push hard to get the plans back and running for the stadium that they had planned here a year or two ago.
Yeah, in a viable location.
Well, and then the current owner, soon to be the previous owner, bitched and pissed and moaned about cost overruns and held everything up. And then the city said, well, then we're not going to pass the bond issue. And that just became a big snowball.
Because the guy was an idiot. He couldn't make up his mind.
So hopefully Zalupski's group will be able to streamline things and say, let's just start from scratch. We'll cover X amount, and then we'll work together. Hopefully this guy's got some business acumen, and he can get the deal done. Keep the Rays in Tampa in a nice stadium in Tampa.
Yeah, and I still think public money does not need to be used, or very little. Maybe only for infrastructure, getting the roads around the area set up. Things of that nature.
And there are certain states, Texas comes to mind, of course Florida comes to mind, where you can use tourist tax money to do something like this instead of taking any money away from funds that would go to schools, so you're roads.
Not taxing your citizens.
Correct. No property tax money, that kind of thing going to this. And then to wrap up things with the Tampa Bay Rays, and I hated the fact they even had to take a couple weeks to debate this. Because you got two teams that are in the same situation. And I do believe I said this before, that Major League Baseball is actively rooting against the A's and the Rays to make the playoffs because of their current stadium situations. Now they have had to begrudgingly admit that they will allow the Tampa Bay Rays to play their home playoff games where they're currently playing at George Steinbrenner Field. So you could conceivably, now the Rays have slid back a little bit over the last week and a half, but if they pick it back up again, and they get in the playoffs, then you could have playoff games and a World Series game or two in a minor league baseball stadium that holds 12,000 at most.
Guess what? That's the way it works.
Yep.
Deal with it.
Yep.
You can't expect them to move to another area or another stadium to play.
No.
That's ridiculous.
No, and I think it's a couple months too far down the road, but with the new ownership coming in, I really wish they would just say, don't even bother to fix the goddamn Tropicana Dome.
Yeah, just let it be done.
Yes, and let's work on a new stadium. If they have to play at Steinbrenner Field for another couple years, so like the A's have to in Sacramento.
Yeah, so be it.
Yeah.
Do it right. Don't do it stupidly.
All right, let's move on to the NFL. Woo, we got a lot to talk about in football this week.
Greedy receivers.
Stupid organizations.
And another fucktard rookie.
But we have to start off with the Chicago Bears, the team that Dave and I both follow, as they decided we've got to align our new head coach with our general manager. So we have to give Ryan Poles a reward for being mediocre and give him an extension through 2029. Can I please vent on something for a second? When we were going to our concert last Friday night, by the way, weekend edition, we will have our review of Quiet Riot and Slaughter featured in our music section.
And where can you find both of these wonderful podcasts? Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, CastBox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby. And the UB2B.
Don't forget the Facebook page where you will find our picks weekly for baseball, for NASCAR, and coming up soon, very, very soon, the NFL and college football. But yes, the Bears decide to extend Ryan Poles, and as you and I, we only had the score out of Chicago on for about half an hour before we switched over to the greatest rock and roll channel in northern Indiana, 101.9 Rocks. But you always question me in terms of why aren't you listening to Chicago sports radio? You root for the Bears. You root for the Cubs, Maestro.
What's going on.
And you're listening to the goddamn New York radio. Why? Because I cannot stand... They were kissing ass.
It was bad.
The half hour we listened to them.
It was bad.
They were... Oh, Ray Post deserves it. This is awesome. This is brilliant. This is great. I think I heard one person call in and utter the words, this is a stupid decision.
Why are we rewarding the mediocrity? Yes, he's made some good moves here and there. He's also made some awful, horrible picks in the draft. Yes, quickly got the Bears out of salary cap hell.
That's the one thing
and
I would say.
And eliminated a number of players that should not have been on the roster to begin with.
That's the thing I'm impressed about. Do I think it deserved the extension? No. He did his job. Because otherwise, the Carolina Panthers thing fell in his lap. I'm sorry, but it did.
Yeah, you know how you got that pick? Lovie Smith got pissed at the Texas head-ups and said, fuck it, you're not giving me a shot to coach next year. I'm going to screw you out of this number 1 pick and win the last game of the season. What do I owe you for?
Yep. And, of course, the Panthers wanted Bryce Young. The Bears were looking ahead a year saying, well, we think you're going to suck. So we'll take DJ Moore and some draft picks and take next year's number 1. And of course, it wasn't that hard of a deal to push through. And, yes, I tend to focus on the negative. And we've got to remember... This is the man who hired Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the man who hired Matt Eberflus.
And allowed that disastrous coaching staff to have existed.
So now the McCaskies...
For a year too long.
The McCaskies have done it now. Now we're stuck. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 5 years. And if they have not shown us anything in 2 years, then I've said this. This whole mess with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams had better work.
It has to.
Otherwise,
this organization is toast.
I'm done. Everything I buy from here on out will be Buccaneers red and pewter or creamsicle orange. Because I'm done with the Bears. It's obvious if they can't make it work now, they'll never make it work. Never. I'll have to live with 1985.
We'll have to wait until the McCaskies finally pull their heads out of their asses.
Which will never happen.
I know,
because it's a family business, as we talked about.
That's the only thing they have going for them.
8 people in the upper echelon of the organization have the last name of McCaskey.
And how many of them actually have a clue about how football should be run? Who knows? You'd be lucky if 1 or 2 of them have a clue.
I was going to say.
Because we sure as hell know it ain't George.
So, of course, speaking of my beloved Buccaneers, and speaking of the creamsicle uniforms, this is the 50th season upcoming of my beloved Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I remember when my father took me to the Football Hall of Fame, and the Buccaneers and the Seahawks were just starting out back in the mid-'70s. And I bought myself a little pull-string book bag with Bucko Bruce on it. So you people ask. We have rules about why we allow you to root for certain teams and why you're not allowed. I have multiple reasons going back to those days of why I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. And I also lived outside of Tampa Bay in Orlando for 10 years and went to Buccaneers games. For the home opener this coming season, the Buccaneers will break out their original white road uniforms from 1976.
Nice.
I cannot wait to see Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving in that uniform. Now, it's not the full creamsicle. Again, it's white with the orange accents, but you'll have Bucko Bruce on the helmet.
There you
Can't
go.
wait.
That's going to be beautiful.
Cannot wait for that. Now, do you want to tell the kids? You referenced it, the stupid wide receivers and the stupid money involved this week.
So you got frickin' Washington receiver McLaren and Niners receiver Jennings both considering sitting out camp, questioning if they're going to take the field this season. Why? Because they want more money. The deals they signed aren't worth enough for them right now after they had good seasons. Put up another good season and earn it. Play out the contract you signed. You greedy prima donna asswipes. I'm so sick of this crap.
And I'll actually break it down further. I think Terry McLaurin might have a better case. Since he's been in the league longer, he's put up better numbers consistently. And he wants to get paid a little bit closer to now, 40, 35, 30 million what the top level receivers are making. I'm with you. I still don't like it.
Finish out your deal.
But Jawan Jennings really needs to get his head out of his ass.
One fucking year and you want to redo your contract.
And it wasn't even that great of a year.
No, it was mediocre.
He took advantage of the Ayuk injury and the fact that Deebo Samuel half the time can't stay healthy.
So you kind of got those numbers by default. Does not make you an upper echelon receiver.
Yeah, and he's not in a position to really push them. Because
no, he's not.
Ayuk will be back at some point, probably 5 or 6 weeks in to the 2025 season. Then they got the Pearsall kid, as long as he's not getting shot again.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get robbed.
He looked pretty good at the end of the year. I'd be very careful if I was Jawan Jennings. Very careful.
You can find your way out. Lynch is not going to put up with that shit.
But McLaurin, he
has a better case, but...
Yeah. But now they brought Deebo Samuel in. So McLaurin's not technically on an island as the only big-time, big-name target for Jaden Daniels. Now Deebo's in there. Now I don't trust Deebo Samuel
healthy
for
he can
nothing.
Stay.
Yeah. That again is more of a position of strength in negotiating for McLaurin, in that he can look at Deebo Samuel and go, "This guy won't make it through the whole year. I at least last year in, year out, the entire year."
Until he pops his Achilles after he signs a new deal.
All right, so you got the two receivers wanting crazy money, not getting it yet, but then you've got some players who did get crazy money. I don't know if there was some kind of a deadline this week, but now this was a guy that I said I wanted the Bears to get, and of course Kansas City would not give him up, and that was their guard Trey Smith. So the Chiefs give Trey Smith a 4-year, $94 million extension, $70 million guaranteed, and I believe all of it's a record for a guard. An interior
of course
lineman.
It is.
Yeah, it's a record for an interior lineman. Of course
it is.
But this is the Chiefs, okay? So let me qualify it. The Chiefs, over the last 5 years, are the best team in football. Are they not?
They are.
Okay, so I will trust their front office to do the right thing. I don't understand what the fucking Jets are doing at all.
Why are you giving Sauce Gardner a 4-year, $120.4 million extension?
$85.7 million guaranteed. And then you say, well, let's give our young wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, 4 years and $130 million.
Sure, why not?
He gets $90 million guaranteed. So he gets an average of $32.5 million a year.
For what?
That's what McLaurin wants. Now he's looking at this going, I'm better than Garrett Wilson.
And he is.
Why can't I get that money?
What the fuck are the Jets doing? Why are This is why the Jets are a horrible organization.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
And it's not like you just drafted Arch Manning. and you've got a young stud quarterback with a huge arm coming in, where you're looking at the future and going, Garrett Wilson can grow with this quarterback, and the kid's eventually going to pass for. Justin Fields is your quarterback. Justin Fields is not known for throwing the football. Okay?
He would rather run.
Garrett Wilson is going to end up being a ridiculously overpaid wide receiver through no fault of his own with mediocre to poor statistics.
Yes.
Because of the quarterback situation. And Sauce Gardner, I listen to New York radio. They don't even like Sauce Gardner in New York. They think he's overrated.
And that's what you get
So,
for the Jets.
So what's next? Breece Hall going to get a 4-year extension next?
Oh, God.
Because all those guys came in at roughly the same time. And Breece Hall has been massively underwhelming.
Yeah, he's been a disappointment.
So, sorry. The Jets once again have jetted themselves. And you know what? Last place. I don't see that. The Patriots are going to be a lot better with Vrabel and with Drake May in his second year.
Yeah,
The Dolphins, Jets, even if the Dolphins don't play well, they'll still win 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Jets winning 6 or 7 games. I don't.
It's hard to imagine the Jets doing anything. Ever.
The Jets are going to be one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the NFL.
Again.
Yeah. All right. Other news in the NFL. Didn't quite ever live up to his potential, but was not bad. Defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh has officially retired now from the NFL. He has not technically played since 2022. But yeah, all the hype when he came out of Nebraska, he is going to be the greatest nose tackle ever.
He had a reputation as being a dirty player.
Yep.
But never really... He was a good player, but he wasn't that dominant player that he was expected to be.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely not a complete bust like a Jamarcus Russell. Just...
Or a Bosworth.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. But just never rose to that level you expected.
Yeah.
And then, of course... We know it's been a little while. It's been about a week and a half since the 4th of July where we celebrated America. But some people celebrated a little too hard and in the wrong way, and it might have cost them a lot of money down the line. And that would... Now, we're not talking about JPP going years back.
No.
He ended up actually bouncing back and playing okay.
He still played very well, even with 3 fingers.
Yeah. But you've got running back Najee Harris, who Pittsburgh said they drafted him and they said, oh, you've been okay. Yeah, you ran for 1,000 yards the first 3 years you were with us. But I just think we need to move on. So Jim Harbaugh says, I'll get him. I'll take him on, bring him in on a 1-year deal.
Let's go with the Chargers.
Promptly drafts a running back in the first round with Omarion Hampton.
Because you got to have a backup.
Well, now it's looking like Omarion Hampton might be thrown into the fire right away because... Oh, did I say fire?
Firework explosion.
Najee Harris supposedly, superficially, injured his eye in a fireworks mishap that cost another person digits.
Yes.
Just like JPP. And I will always say this, and I don't care if you want to argue with me, you're wrong. I don't like to say that because it's not an opinion. Opinions can't be wrong. Facts are not wrong. You keep these athletes, if you are a 20-something athlete, I'm talking to you, Chase Elliott. I'm talking to you, Najee Harris.
Don't do anything stupid that can put your livelihood at risk. You have a short window to perform your contracts and your duties and do the best of your ability. Save the dangerous shit when you retire.
Yep. When you retire,
Then
chicks and guns and fire trucks, whatever you
and
want.
motorcycles and jet skis and skiing
And
and
ATVs
stupid stuff.
But yeah.
But when you are in the prime of your career, you have to take care of yourself.
Because that way you make more money. And then you can blow more money on blowing hookers when you're in your 40s and 50s. Okay, kids? Do we have to think of everything for you?
That's when you're going to want it.
So today the news comes out that Najee Harris, with his superficial eye injury, will now be placed on the NFI list, the non-football injury list. And if during training camp they do not clear him, he will miss at least the first 4 games of the regular season.
Way to go, dumbass.
Yeah, this could have technically gone in the dumbass category, but it's it's almost too easy.
Way too easy.
And we don't know the details.
Right.
Was it a freak thing where he was standing
way
50
away
yards back and somehow still something got to him?
It's possible.
But I would still say, I'm not saying wrap yourself in bubble wrap, but
there's safety.
Add another 50 yards.
Do.
Add another 50 yards.
We've been upping our safety at our backyard fireworks displays. Next, we've done the at least wearing our glasses. We're going to be going safety glasses and ear protection.
Well, here you go. Here's another perfect example of why you should.
Yep. So.
Okay, one quick thing in college football. And of course, things are starting to ramp up here with college football. They're doing the media days, and we'll be getting
like a month and a half.
Yeah, we'll get more and more to college football here really, really soon, kids. But we talk about the transfer portal for the athletes, and we talk about how these kids jump from team to team to team to team. Well, I've got an actual team.
A team of transfers?
No, a team that's transferring. Louisiana Tech just announced that they are going to switch to the Sun Belt as early as 2026. They're moving to the Sun Belt Conference. Here's the thing, though. If we look back at the history of Louisiana Tech, they've already been in the Sun Belt and a bunch of other conferences.
Yes, they're a conference jumper.
Louisiana Tech was in the Sun Belt originally from 1991 through 2001. Then they said, no, we're going to go now to the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. They were there from 2001 to 2012. Then they said, nope, now we're going to go to Conference USA. 2013 through conceivably this year.
Yeah.
They still have to work out the details. They might be stuck in Conference USA for another year, but they will eventually
come back to the Sun Belt.
Just keep in mind, kids, it's not just the kids.
It's the schools.
The schools, the coaches.
Terrible.
All right, we do have NBA talk again. Jesus Christ, does this ever end?
Can't we get the hell away from the NBA?
Well, no, because the money, we talk about stupid money in the NFL, at least the NFL's entertaining. Now we're going overboard beyond belief. It came in just under the wire, as a lot of the most interesting stories do on Thursday, just so we could just miss talking about it. Devin Booker, who seems to run the goddamn Phoenix Suns, he decides who the coach. You'd think he's LeBron James with how much he dictates in terms of who the coach is going to be, who I'm going to play with. Devin Booker signed a 2-year, $145 million extension with the Phoenix Suns. Do the math, kids. That is $72.5 million a year. And that is the most per year currently, as of this moment, for any player in the history of the NBA.
$900,000 a game on average?
Somewhere in that ballpark, yeah. We're looking for the first deal that hits $82 million.
Yep, where you get $1 million a game.
Yep. And
To
technically,
play a fucking game.
technically probably more. If you look at it, is Devin Booker going to play 82 games?
Oh, hell no.
So he's probably already in that category.
Yeah. Bullshit.
He'll get $1 million for the games he does play in.
Yeah. That's just wrong.
But then we've got...
If you're getting paid that damn much money, your ass should be on the court every fucking night.
Yeah, and that's the thing I can't stand. And then the idiots at ESPN back up the players all the time.
Well, that's what you get for the idiots at ESPN.
And we'll talk more about them in a few minutes, sadly. But now you have Bradley Beal, a career stat whore. Okay? Bradley Beal, all he's done is compile stats. He's never won anywhere. Because remember, he spent most of his career to this point with the Wizards. Him and John Wall. Remember that dynamic duo?
Yeah. Dynamic disaster.
Well, Bradley Beal with the Suns. Again, did Devin Booker have something to do with this? Bradley Beal says, I want out of Phoenix. So the Suns and Bradley Beal reached an agreement, if you want to call it that, to buy out the final 2 years of his contract, which will end up being approximately $96 million.
To let him become a free agent.
He actually gave back about $18 million, I think. But it still leaves $96 million on the table. Remember we talked about the Bucks letting Damian Lillard go? And how they said we're going to stretch the money out?
Right.
Phoenix will stretch out the $96 million they're going to owe
through
Bradley
2050?
Beal 5 years. I think that's the limit. That's all you can do.
Okay, you can go 5. All
so
right.
they're going to stretch that $96 million out for 5 years. And meanwhile, Bradley Beal now will move to the LA Clippers.
Ooh.
And on a 2-year, $11 million deal. But he gets an opt-out after the first year. So he can jump in after this season and become one of the most coveted free agents.
How is he going to be a coveted free agent?
Why would you want to go to the Clippers? I heard there were other teams like the Lakers that wanted him. Why wouldn't you go play with LeBron and Doncic? Why would you go play with Harden? That and Kawhi. Kawhi you can never depend on. Great player when he's actually on the court.
When he plays.
I don't know. But then we get to the reigning, defending NBA champions. And we've been talking about them for the last couple weeks after winning the title. And, of course, they gave Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP, a massive contract. 4 years, $285 million. Now, they have decided we're going to give Jalen Williams his max rookie extension. Technically $239 million, but with incentives, it can escalate to $287 million. Now, last week they gave Chet Holmgren his rookie extension, which can max out at $250.
Why would you extend Holmgren?
So if you want, trust me, I'm not going to say if you want to do the math because the NBA's math is convoluted. I've done it for you. Bottom line, between Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and SGA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, one of the smaller markets in the NBA, have committed a minimum this offseason of $763 million to their top 3 players. It can actually max out at $822 million. And Dave, I'm going to say the same thing that you and I have been saying the last couple of years. Where the hell is the NBA getting this money?
That's the big question.
I'm sorry. The ratings have not been that spectacular to justify
They cannot be
this.
getting this kind of ad revenue.
No. I can't believe it. Something's going on here. Something is going on under the table. Whether China's
Supplementing?
yes, something like that, but there's no way this is an economically feasible model.
It can't keep going.
Even baseball, with its massive payroll disparity, at least makes sense that the New York teams and the LA teams would be the ones that have the money to spend, and the smaller markets don't.
Yeah, because of their TV deals.
I don't get this. I don't. Then you've got the number 1 pick in the draft, Cooper Flagg. And this isn't really unusual, I guess, but Cooper Flagg played in 2, count them 2,
Ooh.
Summer League games. And he has been shut down by the Mavericks for the rest of the Summer League season. First game was a little iffy. Came out, scored 31 points in his second game, and they said, that's good. We've seen enough. But we'll talk more about that later, maybe
Yeah.
at the end of the show.
Potentially. I get you don't want to risk injury, but he's still a kid who needs to develop his game at the pro level. He needs the experience against bigger guys with more playing time.
Well, like I said, though, some of the numbers I saw, this is not unusual for the number 1 pick to only play a couple
Yeah, I
games.
know. But
If they play at all.
Still.
Street Clothes never played a single game in the Summer League.
Gee.
And it still didn't
And
help.
it still didn't help because he still doesn't play.
And of course,
It set the tone for his entire damn
and
career.
of course, ironically, that is now Cooper Flagg's new teammate.
God, Cooper, do not listen to Street Clothes. He is not a mentor. He is an example of what not to do.
he's gonna have Street Clothes and Kyrie Irving.
Oh, God.
As his 2 veteran,
Oh,
big
God.
veteran presences.
Oh, that poor kid's fucked.
Yeah, I don't know how much better the head coach Jason Kidd is, but at least he's got to be better than those 2.
Oh, God.
And then the WNBA. Yeah, it's All-Star week for them this weekend, All-Star game, yada, yada, yada.
Woohoo.
Of course, the big news is, just when you thought the Indiana Fever were going to get better, they won last night, 12-10.
But Caitlin re-injures her groin.
Yep, she was in tears. I watched the segment where she supposedly got hurt. I'm not doubting her, but it was one of those situations where it didn't look like much, but then she immediately put her hand to her inner thigh and started crying. So she knew something bad had happened. But here's the thing, for her reaction, okay, they've ruled her out for tonight, the final game before the All-Star break. So they're going to get shellacked because they're playing the New York Liberty.
Who are well rested and are fired, have everybody.
And the Liberty are the defending champions.
Right.
So, yeah, the Fever will drop to 12-11, I would believe, tonight. But now, here's the thing. And we talk about how baseball is a weak league. The WNBA is teetering. They are on a precipice of being an extremely weak league. If Caitlin Clark does not play this weekend in the All-Star game,
Those
the
ratings are going to be abysmal.
oh, they're going to plummet. They're going to plummet into the toilet.
Yes.
That's why they will not commit to ruling her out yet. But if her reaction was any indication,
she's not playing.
they need to sit her for a month.
Yeah.
She acts
was
like
she
tore
was going to be
something.
in the 3-point shootout. That's not going to happen.
She acts like she tore something.
Yeah. Yeah, at the halftime here, live update. The Liberty 53, the Fever 38. So there's your route.
And I did not know that when I
There's
said...
your route.
I did not... Will you attest to that, Dave? I did not know that score.
You did not.
When
I
said,
looked it up as you said
Yep,
that.
and when I said they're going to get blown out tonight. Yep. But, you've got all the geniuses on ESPN saying, the Fever play better without Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah, whatever.
Really?
And she's still got her issues. She turns the ball over way too much.
Yeah, she still plays too out of control.
Yeah, and she still throws up way too many three-pointers. Because on the road, I saw some ridiculous stat where she's hit 2 total three-pointers on the road so far this year.
That's not good.
2. And then, of course, the beautiful, the lovely Sophie Cunningham, who I can't get enough of.
She got legs for miles.
She's been playing very good lately. And, of course, she got in trouble a couple weeks ago for saying what all of us were thinking. Why are you going to repeat the failures of the past and go back to Cleveland and go back to Detroit, where you had franchises that failed?
Didn't work.
So now what's the WNBA doing next year? They're going back to Portland, where they failed before. And guess what? They're bringing back the name of the team that failed. So now it's official, the Portland Fire
are back.
Will start playing in 2026. Question for you. Business question. Doesn't have anything really to do with the WNBA, but it does. With all the expansion teams coming in, they've got 2 teams coming in next year, and then 1 team a year for the next 3 after that. Doesn't this scream diluting the talent base?
Yes, big time.
You're going to have expansion drafts every year for the next 4 years.
And you don't have enough top female talent to begin with. What the hell are you doing?
This is a matter of they see dollar signs now, and they're going to try to capitalize on it.
And then how many of these teams are going to be folding down the line?
And again, what business sense does it make to bring back failed franchises from your past?
How about you go where maybe there's no team?
Like Sophie Cunningham said. Why didn't we look at a city like Kansas City?
Gee, maybe you capitalize on the success of the Thunder and put a WNBA franchise in Oklahoma City where they don't have anything. It's just the Thunder.
A rabid, loyal fan base. But again, your Uncle Dave and I, what do we have to do?
Fucking run everything. Hey, there's a big tournament overseas. The Open. So should we talk about the Gophers?
Gophers? We don't do a podcast about animals. What are you talking about?
No, the Gophers swinging their clubs.
Oh, golfers! Why don't you speak English, you Scottish bastard? Yes, next week we will have our full recap of what I call the British Open. I don't know when they started with this Open Championship crap.
It's the British Open because it takes place on the British Isles.
And this, of course, is happening this year at Portrush, Royal Portrush. And here's the crazy thing. This is what's wild about the British Open, is that we're recording here on Wednesday night, July the 16th, probably about 2 hours, I'll say 2 hours after Dave and I get done, because factoring in the weekend edition.
Yep, they'll be teeing off.
I think I looked, the first tee time is roughly 1:30 Eastern time in the morning. Padraig Harrington, I believe, is what I saw.
Yeah.
So, Very cool, but it's nice because the British Open now, it is, unfortunately, the final major of the year for golf, but it's not like some of the ones that you have here in America where they will go into 6:30, 7:30 at night. This sucker will be done by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday.
Yeah, it's
And then you can jump right into the Dover race.
everything lines up.
And yes, we will get to NASCAR here in just a few minutes. But I told Dave here as we were whispering, doing our little asides here, conferring, that number one, I have to take care of my Clint Eastwood badasses of the week. And then I have breaking news. Breaking news. Let's do that first.
All right.
Because
Don't forget your badasses, as you're prone to do.
I know. The ratings are in for last night's MLB All-Star Game.
Oh my God! Record-setting.
The other way.
The
Second worst ever. Second lowest rated Midsummer Classic ever, next to last year. Last year was the lowest rated ever. This year, second lowest rated ever. I believe the numbers are just over 7 million
woof
on average for viewership.
woof.
So, for once,
We fucking told you so. Nobody cares about the All-Star games.
and I will say this. Again, we didn't watch the game, so we're contributing to that record low number, or
Yeah.
near record low number. But the players at least seem to care a little bit more this time around.
Yeah, seem to. Yeah, this headline is ridiculous. All-Star Game sees drop in viewership despite first swing-off.
Yeah.
Nobody knew there was going to be a swing-off. Nobody cared to watch the game.
Yeah, you can't. Now, I thought there might have been a little bit of a bump because of the ABS system being used for the first time. That I told you.
Yeah,
If
was more intriguing than the swing-off.
Yeah, you weren't guaranteed to have a swing off, but you knew they were going to use the ABS system for the first time. Now, it still didn't draw me in.
No.
I'm glad they used it. I heard it was a success. I heard they used it.
It worked
4 or 5 times during the game, and it worked out great. They got the calls right.
Yes, which we want.
And it didn't seem like it held the game up all that much. They were able to go quickly, ball strike, whatever it might have been. All right, so now I will do my badasses. My good friend Dave, of course, looking out for me, reminds me, yes, that I have a tendency to overlook the positive and always dwell on the negative. So, self-serving, first, Clint Eastwood badass of the week would be one Pete Crow Armstrong. And I believe you mentioned this to me on the trip down to the concert. So I will give you credit for this. Of course, it popped up later on my feed. But PCA becomes the third player ever with 25 home runs and 25 steals before the All-Star break, joining Eric Davis and, not Barry Bonds, his father, Bobby Bonds.
That kid is good.
Yep.
And the Cubs are going to fuck it up.
You know, I'm not, I'm not the demented nut job fan. I agree with you. I'm not going to, how dare you say that about my team? No, I know.
Because you know your team.
Yes.
Just like I know mine.
Yes.
They are idiots. They will find a way to destroy something.
Yes.
They know. They've got the player. They have the star of the future to build around, and they won't do it.
My prediction, so we're in the 2025 season right now. By the end of the 2028 season, they won't have Kyle Tucker or PCA.
Nope.
They probably won't have Seiya Suzuki either, because they're too goddamn cheap.
Or Shota.
Oh, no way. No way. They won't be able to afford Imanaga. No way. No way. All right, my other Clint Eastwood Badass of the Week is the University of Michigan. Why? Because they became the first school in history to have first-round picks in a year in all of the 4 major team sports leagues in North America.
Wow.
NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL.
Impressive.
Yep. Now, the baseball one snuck in, from what I could tell, right there at the end.
Right at the...
Yeah, right at the tail end of the first round, so...
But still.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, on an aside, I'm already hearing that there's issues with Colston Loveland, physically.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Of course, he's a Michigan player the Bears drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I thought he was injured and was trying to recover from something when they drafted him.
He's not coming back
And
as
it's
quickly
not-
as they hoped. Yeah, and I finally heard somebody open up that wound that you and I had from draft night, and the Bears didn't even take the best tight end available.
Bingo.
And if it wasn't, that poor kid is stuck with Daniel Jones. If it wasn't for that, you know, the kid from Penn State,
Yeah.
he should be on the Bears. Even if they're going to make the dumbass mistake, and again, this gets you an extension. This gets you a contract extension.
Yeah, well, I think this falls
You've
on
already
Ben
got
Johnson.
Cole Kmet. I know we've covered this ground before, kids, but we need to vent. You've already got Cole Kmet. You've already paid Cole Kmet. And then you just say, oh, we need another tight end because our new coach is an offensive genius. And then you don't even take the best tight end available.
But that's on Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson wanted Loveland.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. God.
Strike one.
Oh, God.
Strike one.
All right, time to talk some tennis. A little bit of tennis because, of course, last weekend was Wimbledon. And it pretty much went according to form. The top man and the top woman both won. Now, both of these championships, though, I have comments on.
No.
And yes, well, one is because you told me I had homework to do.
I did tell you had homework.
Usually you're doing the homework in NASCAR. I did the homework in tennis. Because, kids, if you recall, there was a controversial retirement in the 4th round here at the Wimbledon,
yes.
the 2025 version of Wimbledon, where the man who ended up eventually winning the whole thing, number 1 in the world, Yannick Sinner,
The Cinnamon.
was down 2 sets to 1 Grigor Dimitrov, the 19th ranked player in the world from Bulgaria. And Grigor Dimitrov had to retire. Now, it turns out he had a partially torn pectoral muscle. But this led us to look at
Was it a real injury?
his
or...
recent history, because this was the 5th major tennis championship in a row where he has retired due to injury. So, let me just run this down for you kids real quick, and you decide. You decide if we're crazy or there's something going on here. So going backwards in time, we just addressed Wimbledon.
A legitimate pec tear.
Partially torn pec. 2025 French Open. He was up. This would be Mr. Dimitrov, was up 2 sets to 1 on unranked Ethan Quinn in the first round. Had to retire due to a thigh injury. At the time, he was number 16 in the world. Then, the first major of the year, the 2025 Australian Open. He was number 10 in the world. He retired in the first round, again, versus another unranked player Francesco Passaro. Another groin issue that went back to the previous tournament in Brisbane. An adductor. I had to do research on the difference between an abductor and an adductor. Okay, so now I can can legitimately say I can play a doctor on a podcast.
Is the ad on the outside and the ab on the inside?
Flip it.
The ad is inside.
The adductor is the groin.
Out.
The abductor's on the hip.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're going to get to the abductor in a minute. So this was an adductor issue, basically a groin issue that he carried over from the tournament
by
before.
The dick. Okay, got it.
Whatever helps, man. Whatever makes you remember. Then we go back to 2024, the U.S. Open. He was down 2-1 to number 20, Francis Tiafoe. At the time, Grigor Dimitrov was ranked number 9 in the world. He retired in the quarterfinals to Tiafoe due to another leg groin issue. And then finally,
this guy doesn't have a leg to stand on, does he?
He's got Caitlin Clark disease is what he's got. And then 2024 Wimbledon. He was number 10 in the world. He was down 5-3 in the first set against number 5 Daniil Medvedev. He retired. No, this was the fourth round. He was down 5-3 in the first set in the fourth round to Medvedev with an abductor tear. So that was the hip. Whereas the adductor is the groin. So you kids, you tell me, is this guy just a China doll? Or is something else going on?
If they are legitimate injuries, the guy needs to hang it up. Or he's not going to be able to walk.
Yeah, because it seems like these, except for the pec, which seems to be an outlier, the other 4 injuries are all in that same region. You know?
Not good.
A very sensitive spot and not the back of a Volkswagen. So yes, I did my homework, but I cannot come to a conclusion. Is there something fishy going on with Grigor Dimitrov?
I would say no, because the retirements were not all against top-ranked opponents.
But it's funny. Now, I would agree. It just seems like a very, very terrible run of bad luck.
Yes.
Physically. But this is one of those situations where you look at it and you go, what if? What if he had not torn his pec up 2-1, up 2 sets, sorry,
Could
up
he
2
have
sets on
gone-
Sinner, the one that ended up winning the whole thing eventually?
Because did Sinner beat Alcaraz?
Yes. Which everybody's saying now is the new great rivalry, is Sinner versus Alcaraz. Yes. But yeah, did he just, if he could have knocked off Sinner, then that would open a path for Alcaraz to get another major.
Intriguing.
So like I said, I have a story about, well, the story about the women's championship is
Well,
a little different. A little different. It does involve the physical. Let's put it that way. So,
let's get physical.
number 1, Iga Swiatek wins. This is her 6th Grand Slam, her first Wimbledon. By the way, Sinner, this was his 4th Grand Slam and his first Wimbledon as well. So the number 1 woman, the number 1 man, both won their very first Wimbledon titles this past weekend. Oh, God, I hate myself for this. I hate myself for this. Now, Iga Swiatek beat American Amanda Anisimova, and she obliterated her. 6-0, 6-0.
Ouch.
Amanda Anisimova might have a reason why she might not ever achieve the ultimate heights in tennis, because it's got to be tough lugging those puppies around.
Oh!
She has got a set of melons on her.
hard to get the arm swing
Yeah.
timed correctly.
Yeah, that poor girl. And she's brokenhearted for getting her ass kicked, but all I could look at was her chest. Oh my God, those are phenomenal. How can you play tennis with those things? I mean, they gotta be bouncing up, smacking you in the face.
Oh.
So, I couldn't let it go.
Resist.
I couldn't. She should be proud of him. I just don't know how she can play tennis with him.
Yeah, that would be a challenge.
And the thing is, in some of the pictures I saw, they hang really low. So you know they're real. But they are heavy, heavy melons. And this is why we always warn everybody.
We are politically incorrect.
Now, of course, Dave...
So she's a candidate for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue next year.
Yeah, I think she needs another year. I think she needs another year to grow into her body a little bit more. And then I think she'd be prime time territory for the SI swimsuit edition. Now, of course, Dave always has to mock me about watching hours and hours of sports shows every morning of my life. And, of course, this was the news that probably made him happy as a pig in shit. Because one of the shows that I watch in the morning is no more after about 11 months. And how does Danny Parkins feel about picking up his family and moving them from Chicago to New York?
Funny you should mention him, because on my way home from work, he called in on the Score, his former home. And the guys were asking him, how he was feeling. He goes, it sucks, because we were finding our footing. We had a great time doing it.
It was a good show. It was a really fun show.
And
it really was.
He goes, but things are going to be fine. Things are in the works that I can't talk about yet, but as soon as I can, I will let you know. But it's going to be fine.
So what FS1 basically did is they nuked about half of their original content sports discussion shows. That included Breakfast Ball. Now, unfortunately for Craig Carton, that's 2 strikes. He's out.
Yeah, that is his second failed show.
I've already heard rumors he's back begging WFAN in New York to take him back and put him back on the radio again. Yeah, Parkins might have, from what I read, a shot because that was just the first time. Again, he's been with FS1 less than a year, really.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do with him. Schlereth is probably gone. But yeah, Breakfast Ball canceled along with The Facility and Speak. For some reason...
Sorry.
Oh, Joy Taylor? Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I had something in my throat I had to clear.
Yeah, Joy Taylor's gone. Speaking of huge melons. Yeah, because she hosted Speak, and then she was banging the host of The Facility.
Along with one of the producers at the same time.
So, somehow they still are keeping Colin Cowherd, which I don't get. I liked him for about a year.
And then he
on
became
ESPN.
A raging asshat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those over-the-top, arrogant sports talk idiots who thinks he's always right, and then when they can play video back or audio back of him making stupid, egregiously idiotic predictions, somehow it never makes the air. Yeah,
go figure.
Yeah. So yeah, somehow Colin Cowherd made it through. So now they're showing repeats of him to fill time on FS1.
Lord.
Because yeah, they did this like immediately Monday into Tuesday. Because Breakfast Ball was new this past Monday, the 14th. And then Tuesday morning I woke up and I'm like, where is it? My DVR didn't record it.
Gone.
They had nuked that. Yeah, they had nuked those 3 shows Tuesday morning. And this is where this is where I get mad about ESPN. Because ESPN, of course, tonight will have their self-congratulatory awards.
No DSPs.
And they're probably all laughing and happy. The infamous, awesome Horn of Disgrace.
Extended version.
But yeah, you know damn well they're all sitting there taking a lap, patting each other on the back. Oh, we just destroyed all of FS1 shows. Mike Greenberg, you're awesome.
God, he is the fucking worst.
They're all the worst. The ESPN is a bunch of woke idiots.
They don't talk sports anymore. It's all social bullshit.
Part of the rumors I heard about what FS1 might do, if they want to take another shot with original sports talk programming, they might bring Tony Reale in, who just got dumped by ESPN, the whole longtime host of Around the Horn.
Yeah.
So, it seems like, going back to Parkins, he gets along very well with Nick Wright, and Nick Wright's show is still around.
Was that the afternoon?
First things first, I can't remember when that airs, but they might slip him in there.
Funny you should mention that, because when he popped on the Score, he was calling after just rapping First Things First.
Yeah, so again, seems like he's very close with Nick Wright, who his show survived.
So there's a potential there.
Right.
Because wasn't it his work with Wright filling in that got him the FS1 gig?
I don't know. I don't watch First Things First.
So
all I know is when I watch Breakfast
he had done
Ball.
some stuff. That's how he got.
When I watched Breakfast Ball, he would mention Nick Wright often, and they had a competition going with football picks, so that was kind of fun. Yeah. And they would denigrate each other throughout the year.
As is right and just.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. So we'll see, but for now I'm just down to Boomer and Geo. So sad. But the fantasy football shows are amping up.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
So at least they'll get me through the end of the year. And then, of course, I was watching as you came over tonight, Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour.
Yes.
And again, what is it with the big melons tonight? His co-host, oh my God.
She pretty.
The next future ex Mrs. Crane. Oh my God. Tell me where you record that podcast. And please don't get a restraining order against me. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous, and she's got massive boobs. Oh my God.
Have you detected a theme here, kids?
Lord help. Yeah, unfortunately, when you get to the weekend edition, it's going to be the exact opposite. And we'll discuss that come Saturday morning. But now we move on to NASCAR. And we got a ton to talk about in racing. Some good, some bad. But, of course, the good for me...
Yep, he actually pulled off the back-to-back.
Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, he did not pull off the entire weekend sweep.
No.
Like Chicago. He did sweep the poles for both the Cup and the Xfinity. He did win the Cup race, his third victory of the season. But young Connor Zilic beat him in the Xfinity Series. So now, the rumors about him taking over in 2026 for Daniel Suarez means that Trackhouse could have 2 road course ringers next year.
Zilic has shown he can win on any course at any track. Zilic is a young phenom.
Yep. So Trackhouse is positioned very, very well. Very well for the future. Rumors are starting. We love our rumors here on Sports Frenzy.
Some we make up, some we perpetuate.
Could we return to Chicago in 2026, but not to the street course? Rumors are circulating that there is a plan in place to get Chicagoland Speedway back up to snuff as soon as next year.
I wasn't overly impressed with the racing there.
What the logic is, from what I read, they think that Chicagoland Speedway will lend itself to better racing now with the next gen car.
Potentially.
But of course, this stems back to the mayor. Oh, I don't want the 4th of July race anymore. I don't want it.
Boo fucking who.
So now they've got to come up with an alternate plan, or we go back to no racing in Chicago at all. And your third, fourth biggest media market in the country? I can never remember, because Houston for a while was pushing Chicago for that number 3 spot. But either way, one of the biggest top 5 media markets in the country, you're not going to have any racing nearby. And then, sound the bells of doom.
Gong. Gong.
Tonight, as we tape July the 16th, is the official deadline. Judge said, no more. We're done. 2311 and Front Row could lose their charter status this week.
Yep.
Going into Dover this weekend. They have filed again to ask, please hold off on this.
Hold off till the end of the season.
And it's not looking very good.
No, they are going to be fucked.
So that means, number one, they will have to qualify for every race. Now, it's not a huge deal, except when you get to a track where you get a lot of outliers who want to put a team in.
Right.
Usually super speedways.
Usually it's the super speedways,
right,
because anything goes.
Right, Daytona or Dega.
Yeah.
And that could cause problems for these teams.
Indy could be a potential issue, too.
Yep.
Those bigger races.
They're not guaranteed spots, is what we're getting at here.
That, and they're not guaranteed a purse.
That's the other part of this. They would get a
smaller percentage.
Yes. And there could end up being a further legal issue where they might have to give money back for what they've won here.
Won to this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because technically they were running as a charter team.
And they weren't a charter team.
Correct. So we will have a big time update on this.
And then what sponsorship issues are they going to run into now?
Yeah. Yep.
And what driver contract issues are they going to have?
Yep.
So, yes, NASCAR is the big bully on the block. They always have been. They always will be.
And so we will, of course, have a update next week on this. Big time update. They're saying it could drag through Thursday into Friday, but there has to be a definitive answer by this weekend for Dover. They have to know by Dover if they have to qualify to get in.
Or not.
Now, we give you news on F1 just because we try to be nice. Public service and all. Apple has outbid ESPN for the F1 yearly rights starting next year. So F1 will be moving, it looks like, to Apple TV Plus.
Guess what? Not gonna be watching it at all. I occasionally would tune into ESPN for it. I am not paying for Apple TV Plus to watch F1.
Yeah, supposedly the company in charge of the media rights for F1, Liberty Media, has announced this, said that Apple bid upwards of $150 million yearly for the rights, where ESPN, I believe, upped their bid. They were paying $80 million currently. They upped their bid to $95. Still way short of what Apple bid. And ESPN said, no, we're not matching that. So it looks...
It's got to stop somewhere.
it looks like
And
F1...
Apple is going to lose money because, I'm sorry, it's not that popular here in the States for people to pony up for it.
Oh, but they have the F1 movie and it's doing great, Dave. Now, good thing, I know we just talked baseball an hour ago, but good thing with Rob Manfred, God help me for saying that, is that he actually said, because you know how these commissioners are, when the all-star games come around or the draft comes around, this is when they do their state of the sport address. And Rob Manfred did say, I need to take the fracturing of our media rights and dial it down. So
Gee, you think?
he wants to get baseball on primarily one or two over-the-air networks or basic cable networks. He even acknowledges the problem with having games on Apple and Prime and here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, people don't know where to go.
Right, and he says we need to get out of that. He says they are still talking to ESPN, but that relationship might be fractured as well.
ESPN's fractured with everything except the NBA and football.
Yep. So that leads us into our picks for race 21 of the NASCAR 2025 Cup season. This coming Sunday, July the 20th, from the Monster Mile. The Auto Trader Echo Park 400. It seems like every other race is called the Echo Park
There's
something.
an Echo Park something somewhere. It's the Echo Park Restart Zone. It's whatever.
So your race this week from Dover. And of course, I went into a panic because I can't pick SVG. What?
Well, you could.
Yeah, I still got one left. And I think I know where that's going to be used.
Same place where I'm using it.
I think you'd be insane if you've got one left.
And not.
But of course, Dover is not a road course. So we're back to actually having some variety in our picks. Interesting dynamic here with our picks. Dave and I, unfortunately, with the limit of 3 per driver during the first 26 races, Dave and I have only got one Denny Hamlin left.
And we know where we're using them, and it's not here.
But a lot of other people had 2 left to play with. So they have decided to go with, I believe, the defending champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So
Bill, Jen, and Aaron take Mr. Hamlin, who could be distracted as an owner, part owner of 2311, not knowing how his team is going to be faring.
But Dave and I, since we had to go in a different direction, we take, I would say, the hottest driver outside of Shane Van Gisbergen right now.
Mr. Chase Elliott.
Yep. I think we have a fairly solid shot with him.
I think we do. Former winner there.
Then Sam and Doug agree.
Yep. Ross Chastain, the Melon Man.
So Nick is the only one of our 8 expert panelists out on his own. Not a bad pick.
Nope, Alex Bowman.
Yep. So to recap, Bill, Jen, and Aaron with Denny Hamlin, Kev and Dave with Chase Elliott, Sam and Doug with Ross Chastain, and Nick goes with Alex Bowman. All good picks. All very good picks. Although I'm still pissed as hell at Doug. He better not get into the playoffs.
Because of his win?
Yes. He's still way below the cut line on points.
Yeah.
But because we instituted last year, everybody gets a trophy. Because Bill had to whine and bitch and cry. I don't like rewarding mediocrity.
That's the problem with our country right now.
Or abject failure.
Not everybody's a winner.
Well, Bill's a commie, so what do you expect? I'll tell him that next month at the fantasy football draft, too.
You commie bastard.
Yeah.
Maybe you should move to frickin' New York and elect your socialist mayor.
Yeah. Change your team name to the CCCP, will ya? Is that it? Did I put one too
Yeah.
many C's in there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, if that guy gets elected New York, oh my God.
Nice knowing you.
I never thought I'd be rooting for a Cuomo, but I think I am, just for the sake of the few decent people in New York.
Yeah. God.
All right, with all that, we move on to the final portion of our show. No last call this week, Dave and I. Not anything really specific.
Not enough to get our dander up.
Yep. So we've got dumbasses. That'll take care of it. But we do have to cover moments of silence first. Very interesting group here. We'll start off with Utah Jazz. Head coach and general manager, legend for the Jazz, Frank Layden, passed away.
Thoughts and prayers to his family and friends.
I do believe he was a general manager who drafted Stockton and Malone.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Dave hates the Cubs, but he loves the rant from their former manager, Lee Elia.
Oh my God. Those fucking cocksuckers.
Lee Elia, of course, spent a few years as the Cubs manager.
You got 85% of the fan base working, and the other 15% of these motherfuckers are useless, and they're out here sitting drinking beer in the bleachers. Paraphrasing some things in there, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, that is. That's it. You captured the spirit very well.
And God bless the late Les Grobstein, who captured the audio. The only reporter who had the recorder going.
One of the all-time legendary rants.
Oh,
in sports
brilliant.
history. It's up there with Denny Green. You want to crown them? You crown their ass. They are who we thought they were.
And these fuckers can kiss my fucking ass.
And of course, our man in Oklahoma State, Mr. Gundy. I'm a man.
I'm 40.
You come after me.
Oh. And
Jim
the late
Mora.
pirate.
Oh, of course, yes.
With their fat little girlfriends. God, I miss Mike Leach.
Yes. And I'm glad they tweaked the rules now where he's eligible now to get into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Multi-time All-Pro left tackle. Transitioned from the St. Louis Cardinals to from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
Sorry. When I mentioned St. Louis, I started thinking Rams. He was with the Cardinals from 1982 to 1994. Left tackle Louis Sharp.
Yep.
Passed
Thoughts
away.
and prayers to his family and friends.
Now, this is an unbelievable story. It's unbelievable, but yet it's true. Fauja Singh died at 114 years old.
Hit and run.
In India. Hit by a car, believed to be by far the oldest marathon runner ever.
Started running at age, 100? Thoughts and prayers to his family and friends, but I gotta say, I loved the name of his running club. Six in the City. Because they were of the Sikh religion.
Right.
So they were the Six in the City was the running club. Brilliant.
114 years old. Man.
And some asshole not paying attention.
All right, unfortunately, on that note, we have to
pivot from honoring those worthy of honor to the lowest depths of human stupidity.
Yeah, we got a decent handful here for you. I will admit it's not the strongest class of dumbasses ever.
No, but I'm sure there's enough worthy of receiving the golden boot up the ass.
Yep, we're going to start off with golf. Of course, we've got the British Open starting here very soon. So we got a couple dumbasses in the world of golf. Let's start off with Wyndham Clark. Now, we'd heard the stories that here at the U.S. Open recently,
He had a little bit of a meltdown.
he had a temper tantrum, damaged his locker in the locker room pretty severely. Now, this was a few weeks ago at Oakmont.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, they probably had a little talk behind the scenes, and he took care of it and fixed it. And
Doesn't
not
sound
the
like
case. Wyndham Clark has been banned from Oakmont unless he meets certain qualifications and guidelines, including
Paying restitution for the repairs.
and undergoing anger management classes.
How do you not pay for it right off the bat? How do you walk out of there without writing a check?
You basically supplicate yourself and say, I'm sorry, I lost it. Yeah. What do I owe you? Give me an estimate now. I'll give you some now. If it's above that, I'll pay the rest. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. In addition to paying restitution for that, he also has to make a donation to the charity of their choice.
Yes, he does. Yep. So Oakmont's not playing around with Mr. Wyndham Clark.
And they shouldn't. Accountability, people.
Now, of course, Wyndham Clark is one of the better players on the tour. One of the best players on the tour is one Xander Schauffele. This has been an odd week for the top golfers. Have you noticed this? Did you hear what Scotty Scheffler said?
Yeah.
About, he sounds like he's on a ledge somewhere.
Yeah, he's like,
winning doesn't do it for me. This isn't the
oh,
really
it's what, an hour of elation, and then what do you have? You're prepping for the next week, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, he said basically, again, we're paraphrasing, but basically winning is not a lifestyle conducive to happiness.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then you've got Xander Schauffele, who, you know, some people would say he's really laid back and casual, but for our
this
purposes,
goes to a whole new level of...
for our purposes, it's pretty. He's a dumbass because any normal person who has reached the heights that Xander Schauffele has, winning majors, getting trophies, accolades, and a gold medal.
Yeah, a gold medal.
Now, I guess his parents actually keep all his trophies for him because he leads this casual, minimalist lifestyle. But he has won an Olympic gold medal back in 2021.
He has no clue where it's at.
How do you not keep track of a gold medal?
Xander.
See, and this goes back to, and I know, a lot of these guys didn't manage their money well. They didn't take care of things the way they should have. But the people who sell their Heisman trophies or sell their Super Bowl rings, most of us sit there with awestruck faces going,
How?
I
Why?
would sell everything else but the one defining achievement of my career. You know?
Yeah.
I would look at ring, kids, ring. Take you in a van down to Mexico, kids. Before I'd give up that Super Bowl ring. My God. I'm joking.
Sort of.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. I feel bad for the guys on Breakfast Ball. I've already talked about this. Love the show. It's canceled. Immediately pulled the plug after Monday's show. But one of the three hosts of the show deserves his award this week. And that would be one Mark Schlereth.
Stink.
Multiple-time Super Bowl winner with the Broncos, with the Redskins. Oh! Well, they were the Redskins.
They
back
were
then.
at the time.
This was on the final show. The final show before they pulled the plug. Last weekend, Mark Schlereth, they do the show in New York, right?
Yeah.
So he flew from New York, connecting flight in Denver, heading to Spokane, Washington, where he was going to they have a college reunion. He went to Utah, I believe. They have a college reunion in Spokane every year.
Why not in Utah?
I don't know. I have no idea. But, so, and luckily for him, the connecting flight was in Denver, where, of course, he's got a history with the Broncos.
Right.
I believe he has family there. Because he gets from New York to Denver waiting for the connection, and he's texting some of the guys he's going to hook up with at the reunion. And he says, what do I need to pick up when I get there? Do I need ice, beer? Tell me what I got you covered. Tell me what you want. And the guys text him back and go, Mark, the reunion's next weekend.
Oops.
So he luckily was able to stay in Denver, see family. I think he said he went to maybe his niece's bar mitzvah or something. But yeah, Mark Schlereth, the wrong weekend for your college reunion, buddy. All right. Teddy Bridgewater. I believe he was at one point in time a quarterback for your Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, he's made the quarterback rounds with a few teams.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, he decided, I'm going to coach high school football. A lot of guys do this.
I'm going to go back to my alma mater.
Yep. A lot of guys do it. He went back to Miami Northwestern. I believe he won a championship last year.
Yeah.
In his first year. And they even let him, I believe, when the season was over, jump back in, play, or sit on the bench for a team in the pros. Go back to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but Teddy Bridgewater obviously does not read the rule book when it comes to
Teddy.
what's allowed and what's not allowed. He has been suspended as head coach at Miami Northwestern for, quote, impermissible benefits, unquote, supplied to his players, including Uber
rides and other various things.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you are a coach at the high school level or above, don't give your players anything.
Nothing.
Don't. It will get you in trouble. I thought we had already established this years and years, if not decades ago.
Yeah, no, they just don't get it. NIL has not reached the high school level yet. And I stress yet.
All right. The last two here are petty, but they're me. Okay, I just don't like these two.
They're stretches.
Yes. I could have somehow, some way worked them into a last call, but I didn't have strong enough feelings about them for that. So we talked about Cooper Flagg, and we talked about the NBA Summer League. And I guess I don't have a specific dumbass here other than the sports media in general for propping for days and days. Ooh, the NBA Summer League's coming soon, and the first big matchup, Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James.
Oh, yay.
Here's the problem I've got with this.
Bronny's played for a year already.
And Bronny's not a good player. Why are we acting like this is...
Because of his old man.
You know, this is like Jordan versus LeBron, even though that could never happen. But, you know, Bird versus Jordan. Magic versus Jordan. Bronny versus Cooper Flagg. At least Cooper Flagg will probably end up being a legit, decent to great player. Bronny James sucks. Bronny James has no future in basketball other than carrying his father's dick. Why are we promoting a matchup between Cooper Flagg and Bronny James?
Because they've got nothing else.
And finally, since I just ripped on all the NBA press promoting the stupid Summer League matchup, let's rip on the MLB press and Major League Baseball in general, shall we?
Sure, why not? We do it often enough.
Now, I'm not even going to consider the fact that at one point here, I think the numbers might have changed, I'm not sure. How ridiculously meaningless is it to be called or nominated to be an All-Star? At one point, we had 80 total All-Stars, including 16 replacements.
Oh,
Almost all pitchers, by the way.
well, yeah. Because you can't pitch a full inning, God forbid.
Well, and the contenders don't want to screw up their rotations. But the thing that really pissed me off, and this is a divisive issue, very divisive issue, like Superman, very divisive. I'll be interested to see where your Uncle Dave falls on this. The stupidity of putting Milwaukee's Jacob Misiorowski in with just 5 starts.
That was the dumbest fucking decision ever.
Thank you.
You had other pitchers who were much more qualified to be out there.
And people are singling out the Phillies because the Phillies said, we got 2 pitchers here who've got better stats than Misiorowski that you're passing over for a kid who's had 5 starts. And I think they have a legitimate complaint.
Absolutely they do. It was dumb. Oh, he came out and he threw 100 right out of the gate.
And then the idiots in the media go, how are we going to promote the young stars of the game if we don't do stuff like this?
You don't.
How about they earn it first? How about they earn it first?
Handing people something for nothing.
And Paul Skeens had the previous record with 11 last year. And even that's probably borderline, not enough. But to put a kid in with 5 starts ahead of veterans who deserve it more.
Bad
bullshit.
form.
For you, but we need to promote the young players. So what? This kid that was just drafted by the Nationals #1, this Eli Willits, is he going to be in the All-Star game next year just because they're trying to promote young players?
It's the dumbest decision ever.
There's no logic behind it.
Well, no, I take that back. It's not the dumbest decision ever because they've made some pretty damn dumb ones. But it was a horrible call. Never should have been done.
Oh, and I didn't even mention, by the way, sticking with the All-Star game. And of course, we started everything off here tonight with the swing off. A lot of people asking, well, where's Shohei Ohtani? Where's Aaron Judge? They get to leave early. They were already showered, dressed, and gone. How stupid is that?
That is absolutely pathetic.
Think about how much better it would have been. And of course, I love Kyle Schwarber. Not taking anything away from Kyle Schwarber.
But where were these 2 asshats supporting the rest of the teammates?
You had Jonathan Aranda from the Tampa Bay Rays, and you had, Kyle Sowers from the Marlins in this?
Yeah.
Because the big shots had already left.
I would be pissed if I were the other players from both teams.
Yeah. You could have had, now, at least the National League had 2 legitimate sluggers. They never had to get to Pete Alonso. They never had to throw their third one out there. But can you imagine Schwarber, Alonso, and Ohtani versus, Judge? Who else? Who else in the American
Raleigh?
League?
Why wasn't
Cal Raleigh? Where's Cal Raleigh? Yeah. Where are your big home run sluggers in the American League? Nowhere to be found. All right.
And I don't care if they were pulled out of the game earlier. This is not the regular game. This is a special edition that you want your best hitters available. And I hate the fact that Ohtani and Judge were gone and they weren't there for the duration of the game, being there with the rest of the team. That is awful. Horrible.
And again, this is yet another example of the pampered, spoiled modern athlete.
If they don't care, why should the fans care?
Given the amount of money they're making,
Yeah.
they can't stick around for the end of the All-Star game? Got to get on vacation?
Ugh, it's disgusting. Hey, I think we just had our last call.
Maybe we did. Yeah, we might have just had a last call about Major League Baseball. Well, I thought it was just going to be a dumbass.
You know what? I think you just added to the dumbasses with Ohtani and Judge leaving early.
Well, yeah, technically we can take that. We can take the ridiculous
Mizorowski.
total number of All-Stars and replacements and the idiotic decision about Mizorowski.
Wyndham Clark or Major League Baseball?
Well, you got Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, Mark Schlereth, Major League Baseball, NBA media, and Teddy Bridgewater. That's your list.
I gotta go Major League Baseball. There are just so many things they fucked up.
I'm going to shock you. Maybe. I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele.
Well, there you go.
How the hell do you take such a cavalier attitude to
About your trophies and everything.
a gold medal from the Olympics? This feeds into what we just talked about with the baseball stars, with Ohtani and Judge. The cavalier, carefree attitude, fuck the fans, I don't care what it looks like. I'm just going to be all late because I've got more money than God,
So
and
what
you'll
do I
never have
care?
it. So take that, fans. Oh, look, I won a gold medal. I don't know where it is.
Probably in an old dresser drawer in my old room at my parents'.
Oh, I might have left it in my Bugatti. You know, I don't even know where my Bugatti is. I just hate that attitude. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There you go, kids.
That's all she wrote.
Now, of course, this Saturday morning is your Saturday morning hangover cure sports frenzy 2.0.
Concert review, cassette classics, book, movie.
And our usual rundown of the TV shows we're watching right now. Lots of cool stuff. We will have to give you a disclaimer of sorts for some of the content in the second half. So you'll have to tune in for that. It just kind of happened to fall the way it did in a very dark and disturbing way. I'll say that. But other than that, of course, it'll be the same carefree cursing, swearing, and fun.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe I'll have more opportunities to talk about big boobs. Hopefully.
Maybe, maybe not.
A lot of nice boobs this week on the sports edition, though. Wonderful boobs.
Very nice.
But until we talk to you this coming Saturday morning, or shame on you if you somehow miss or don't like the weekend edition, we'll do this.
7 from now.
7 days from now, the sports edition will return. We will recap the British Open. We'll give you an update on the 23-11 and front row debacle. Baseball will be started back up again. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the weekend edition. You don't want to miss any moment of your Uncle Dave and I.
And why would you want to miss this?
So until we talk to you again, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.